Language teaching is the process of guiding learners to acquire a new language through structured instruction, meaningful interaction, and practical communication. It involves not only teaching vocabulary or grammar, but also developing the learner's ability to understand, express, and negotiate meaning in real-life situations. Although humans have always used language teaching as a formal discipline only developed after the tradition of learning Latin. Latin was once the main language of education, religion, and government in Europe, even though it was not the everyday spoken language of the people. In England, Latin began to be replaced by French after the Norman conquest in the 11th century. Later, in the 15th century, English regained its status as the national language due to the rise of printing and social development. As society evolved and international mobility increased, the need to communicate in foreign language, especially for reading, became more important. However, modern languages were still taught using the same method as Latin. Okay, the grammar translation method. The grammar translation method became the dominant teaching approach. Students translated text word for word and memorized grammar rules and vocabulary lists with a little emphasis on speaking or listening practice. As a result, learners often understood the structure of the language but were unable to use it for real communication. The direct or natural method. To solve this issue, the direct or natural method emerged, which banned the use of the learner's native language. All instruction was conducted in the target language, often supported by pictures and gestures. Figures like Berlitz developed this method further by presenting vocabulary and language structures in meaningful context, so that learners could acquire language naturally, similar to how children learn their first language. However, despite being called natural, this method still included separate teaching of vocabulary and grammar, meaning it was not entirely free from formal drills. As linguistic understanding progressed, scholars realized that a language is not only a set of structures but also a tool for expressing communicative functions of purposes. Okay, the functional approach. The functional approach which focused not just on how language is formed, but what language is used for. This approach later became the foundation of modern communicative teaching methods. Okay, the next is approach, method, and technique. In language teaching, terms like approach, method, and technique are often used interchangeably, which leads to confusion. To teach effectively, it is important to understand the distinction between these terms clearly. Edward Anthony, 1963, provided a useful framework by dividing language teaching concepts into three hierarchical levels: approach, method, and technique. Each level has its own function and builds upon the one above it. An approach refers to the set of beliefs or theories about how language works and how it is learned. For example, some teachers believe language is learned through habit formation, while others see it as a tool for communication. Since approach serves as the foundation, it influences major teaching decisions such as learning objective, material selection, and the overall direction of instruction. Without a clear approach, teaching may lack consistency. Okay, a method is a structured plan for delivering lessons based on a specific approach. It translates abstract principle into a practical classroom system. Every method usually includes components such as learning goals, syllabus design, classroom activities, teacher and learner roles, and teaching materials. All these components must align with the underlying approach. In real classroom settings, teachers do not always follow one single method strictly. Many prefer to use an eclectic approach, combining elements from different methods to suit their learners' needs. Okay, a technique is the specific classroom action or procedure used to implement a method, such as drilling, role-playing, or peer discussions. It is the most concrete level of the hierarchy. Techniques can be categorized according to the stage of learning. Some are used for presenting new material, others for practice or reinforcement, and others for giving feedback or correction. The relationship between the three concepts is hierarchical. The approach determines the method, and the method is carried out through techniques. Therefore, every technique should be consistent with the method and approach used. Understanding the differences between approach, method, and technique help teachers plan more coherent lessons. Beginner can use this framework as guidance, while experienced teachers can use it for reflection and improvement. Okay, and the last is English as a second language and English as a foreign language. Teaching English as a second language and teaching English as a foreign language are common terms in the field of English teaching. Both deal with teaching English to non-native speakers, but in different contexts. Teachers need to understand this distinction since they affect classroom methods and approaches. In English second language context, English is learned in a country where it is widely used, such as the USA, Canada, or UK. Learners are surrounded by English outside the classroom in school, work, and society, which gives them many natural opportunities to practice. In English as a foreign language context, English is learned in a country where it is not the main language, such as Indonesia, Japan, or Brazil. Outside of class, students rarely encounter English, making the classroom their primary exposure. This creates major challenges for teachers in providing a rich learning environment. English as a second language settings are acquisition-rich, meaning students can acquire the language naturally through daily exposure, while English as a foreign language settings, on the other hand, are non-acquisition environments. So, teachers must artificially create English-rich situations using authentic materials, media, or guest speakers. In English as a second language classes, students usually come from diverse countries with different native language, so English becomes the common medium of communication. While in English as a foreign language classes, however, learners often share the same first language and cultural background, which makes it easier for them to revert to their mother tongue. The main difference between English as a second language and English as a foreign language lies in exposure. English as a second language learners practice more often because their environment requires them to use English, while English as a foreign language learners are limited to classroom settings and learning materials. In teaching, English as a second language usually focus on practical skills such as speaking, listening, and understanding local culture and idioms, since students deal with real-life situations directly. In contrast, English as a foreign language teaching emphasizes grammar, vocabulary, and cultural context to prepare students for future interactions with native speakers. Despite these differences, both English as a second language and English as a foreign language share the same goal, helping students become proficient in English communication. Teachers in both contexts use various methods, from traditional instruction to communicative approaches, to develop students' language skills.